Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel if you've been here before, and if you're new, welcome. It's been quite a while since I've put anything on this channel. I looked at my videos and it said about a year, but I think it's actually been closer to 2 years. So just trying get some content back on the channel. I enjoy making the videos. My last video was a comic book video, and that was actually one of my first purchases of comic books, and I've been kind of collecting ever since. So I want to kind of go through some of the comic books that I've collected in some short videos, and kind of just make some quiet, relaxing videos, sort of an ASMR theme, just because it's easier for me too, because I tend to talk quieter anyway, and this way I'm not struggling to get the volume up loud enough for everyone to hear me. If you know what an ASMR video is, it's just quiet sounds, relaxing sounds that are pleasing to people's ears, lets them relax a little bit, and I'm hoping also you enjoy the content a little bit. So the first group of comics I want to show you today are some horror comics. Now this is a combination of comics that I either bought through an auction, or a lot of these I'm going to show you I actually got from my late grandmother, and my mother also, who had collected comics when I was little, and they were given to me now. So I want to show you some of these. All the comics I'm showing you today are from the mid to early 70s, so maybe a couple from close to the 80s, but almost all of them are going to be from the early 70s to the mid 70s. So I think they'll all be considered like a Bronze Age comic to modern age, but I think most of them are Bronze Age. So I'm going to show you these small collection, and then hopefully if I continue to make some videos on a more regular basis, I can show you more of my collection. I've got a lot of other comics to show that I've collected over the last couple years, and along with some other videos with some different content. So just a little bit of a channel update here at the beginning, just for people that maybe have been here in the past or brand new to this channel. And let's look at some comics. So this first one is Crypt of Shadows. This is a Marvel comic, like I said, from the early 70s, and I just love this comic. I wanted to start with this one because I love the cover. I love the colors. I'll kind of show you what that looks like. I'll try to keep the glare off there a little bit. Back from the Dead. Love the artwork. I've only got one of these Crypt of Shadows comic books, but I would like to get some more. From what I understand, they're kind of like, if you remember Tales from the Crypt, that TV show, and that might have been a comic book or a book also, but I watched the TV show, it was like a TV show first, and then I think they made a movie about it too. But Crypt of Shadows, I believe, was kind of like that before it, where there'd be like short stories. And this is a Marvel comic, and this is issue number 13 from 1971, and it's in really good condition too. And this would have been one of the comics that I got from my get the glare off, from my late grandmother. She used to have a stack of comics that I would read. All the grandkids would, and I was lucky enough to get them. The second one is another Marvel Comics, issue number 25, The Tomb of Dracula. You can see the whole cover there. I'll get you a close-up too. It's a little bit rough shape. It's missing a chunk out of the cover right there, and there's a fold. It just looks so cool. This comic here, in good condition, can be pretty valuable. I looked it up. This one, unfortunately, was probably the worst condition that I had. Some of the inside pages are actually detached too. It is complete, but other than this chunk, so it's a little rough, but I like it anyway. But like I said, if you find any of these Tomb of Dracula comics, they could be somewhat valuable. I think this one in really good condition is worth, well over $100. So it's a cool comic. This is a DC comic, The Witching Hour, number 56. I think this is from the early 70s, I think 72. I'll show you the cover of this one too. Here she's out fixing her clock at midnight, and there's a demon or something standing right behind it. So it's just really cool. These comics, when I read them as a kid, were so creepy. Even just looking at the covers, I love the covers. They just creep me out, and I just love that. Another DC comic, 20 cents, issue number 15, Forbidden Tales of Dark Mansion. Look at this cover. Isn't that cool? In this issue, the shocker of the year, a sleigh ride with Santa. But I just love that, the witch, showing him his reflection in this mirror, and he looks like a scarecrow. It's so cool. I do have all these comics bagged and boarded now too, so that most of them are pretty good condition. None of them are great condition, but I'd say very good to maybe a little better. But I'm hoping now that being bagged and boarded, they won't get any worse. Here's another one from DC Comics. This is an issue number 14, Secrets of Sinister House. This comic was 20 cents, so again, most likely early 70s. Some folds. So again, some of these are a little rough, but considering they're now 50 years plus, I'm pretty happy with them. There's another DC, another 20-cent comic. This is Ghosts. I have a few of these. This is issue number 32. Look at this cover. She's saying, "Please don't mock the dead. Those hats are cursed." Very cool. I just love these covers a lot. Here's another issue of Ghosts. Issue number 24. Near the, I don't know if it's Death or Crypt Keepers you call them, coming after this young boy with the open casket. Like I said, these were very creepy when I was a kid looking at these. I still love them though. And another thing I would like to do on this channel too is maybe do some reading of the comics, some ASMR style reading. I found that very relaxing. There's another couple channels I listen to where they read comics, and I really enjoy that. So there's another issue of Ghosts from DC, number 104. You can see this one's 50 cents, so this might have been a little newer, maybe late 70s. Another cool cover, Ghost of Hollywood. Very cool. Okay, let's see what's next. Here's one by DC called The Witching Hour. So going back again, this one's 20 cents. This is a little rough, but I love this cover. I remember it. Oh, excuse me. That's my furnace you might hear in the background making that noise. Hopefully it'll shut off soon. But I remember this cover. It creeped me out as a kid. Take a look there. And the mother saying, "Bruce, why don't you open the door so I can meet your new friend?" And the boy just looks terrified. Something sinister about Uncle Harry. Very cool. Okay. There's another one, Secrets of the Sinister House, issue number 17. I'll show you the cover here. Trying my best to keep the glare down, but the light really helps you see the artwork and the color better. Death last rattle. And now my witness, who was the victim, will point out the man who killed him. Look at the man. Look at the judge's face. So you wonder what he looks like under there. Or her, I suppose. Another DC. There's a lot of DC comics that I have here. The House of Secrets, 20 cents. This is issue number 122. I'll show you the cover here. Devil playing the piano, maybe. Alright, this next one is, this is not a horror comic. I have a few sci-fi comics in here too, but they were kind of from the same era, so I wanted to show these two. This is from Gold Key, who made a lot of comics back in the early 70s and maybe in the late 60s. So this is an original Star Trek comic that came out after the TV show. As you can see here, there's Leonard Nimoy and Captain Kirk, William Shatner, and Spock. So this was 25 cents. I'll show you the cover here. The Enterprise crew is locked on a deep freeze planet, doomed to disappear into space. It's pretty cool. I've only got one of those, but I thought it was cool. And this group of comics, that one, and a couple of these other ones were ones that I got at an auction. Here's the Twilight Zone, 25 cents. They didn't have issue numbers on the cover of these yet. You have to actually open them and look at the first page to find out what issue they are. But this was, again, probably a comic made after the TV show, because there's Rod Serling, who was the host of the old Twilight Zone TV show. And if you're into creepy old shows, look those up. The original Twilight Zone back from probably the 50s and 60s. I'm guessing the 60s, maybe early 70s. So here's the Twilight Zone. And these comics are in pretty good condition too. There's another one off an old TV show. Space Family Robinson, Lost in Space. This is a Whitman comic, so I don't know anything about them. The Twilight Zone was too. Whitman Comics. Here's the cover of that one. The Robinsons rescue a space boy stranded on the planet of monsters. Look at that monster. Hide one out of there too pretty fast. Here's another horror comic from Gold Key Comics. This one's only 15 cents on the newsstand, so maybe a little bit older. It's pretty rough, as you can see the folds on the top. But just cool. You can tell by the style, the clothes and everything, that this is a fairly old comic. See some folds down here and stuff. Western Publishing Company. There's another one based off, I believe, a TV show. Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery. Pretty sure that's Boris Karloff. 20 cents. This is from another Gold Key comic from the early 70s. Pretty cool. His eyes play tricks on him, with nature adding an extra twist. You can see that. Look, it says here, by the estate of Boris Karloff. It's a cool comic. There's another one, not a horror comic, but Gold Key. This is an old series. I know this was a pretty popular series. Turok, Son of Stone. That was 25 cents. The honker that would not die. And that's Turok. And he was from these old comics from the early 70s. I believe he was like a monster hunter, dinosaur hunter kind of character. And I believe they still make comics about him now. video games based upon Turok, a whole bunch of stuff, so I'm pretty sure this is the original story of Turok. This is a later issue. I looked this one, I think it's in the 50s or 60s, so it was a pretty long-running series. Got a few more I'm going to show this video, and then we'll cut it off and show some more next time. I don't want to make it too long. So here's one from Charlton Comics, Ghost of Dr. Graves, and I actually have two of these. This one's issue number 40. Kind of cool. And then I have another one here. I remember this cover as a kid. This is issue number 47. All new, the mini Ghost of Dr. Graves. Look at this creepy cover. The Secret of the Collector. I would like to read this one sometime on the channel because it has some short stories in it that are really good that I still remember as a kid reading. And this particular story was a good creepy story, so I'd like to share that. Excuse me. A couple more here. Another Charleston comic. All new Ghostly Tales. I have a couple of these too. Not sure exactly what this cover is, but it's interesting. It's almost like an art piece. That one doesn't have, 25 cents. That comic was. I have a few of these actually. Here's another one, Ghostly Tales, 20 cents. From the Haunted House. Can't quite see what's going on. There's a couple guys fishing in a boat. Look at this creature behind him. Giant octopus or something. Ghostly Tales. Got one more of those. This one is 50 cents, so maybe a little newer. Ghostly Tales. Luca's Evil Eye. Look at that cover. It's pretty cool. I remember this comic is in really good condition too. This is one of the better ones. A little discoloration, but like hardly any folds or tears or anything, so for a comic probably from the mid to late 70s, not bad. And this is the last one I'm going to show today. This is another Charlton comic. It was 50 cents. Ghost Manor. Visit Ghost Manor if you dare. Who's there? Strange person in the background. Kind of cool. So those are the comics I wanted to show today. Those are most of the horror comics and sci-fi comics that I own. Next time we'll look at maybe a group of superhero comics or something different. So hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, feel free to give me a like or subscribe and say hello in the comments if you're new here or if you've been here before. And I'd like to know if you've read any of these comics or if you know anything more about them. I'm always looking to learn more about comics. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time.